The champagne flute shattered against the hardwood floor, its delicate crystal splintering into 1,000 jagged stars. My hand trembled, not from anger but from the cold realization that had been creeping up my spine for weeks. The dining room, bathed in the soft glow of candles I'd lit for our 5th anniversary, felt like a stage set for a play no one would attend. The table was adorned with her favorite roses, their petals trembling in the draft from the open window. I stood alone, staring at the empty chair where Sarah was supposed to be, her text still burning in my mind. Sorry, babe. Last-minute dinner with Mark. Can't miss it. Love you. The words were a blade, slicing through the fragile hope I'd clung to. I sank into the chair, the velvet cushion cold against my thighs, and replayed the past month in my head. The late nights at the office, her phone angled just out of my sight, the way her laughter had grown sharp, almost performative, when I asked about her day. I'd dismissed it all, chalked it up to stress, to her ambition, to the demands of her new role under Mark, her charming, ever-present boss. But tonight, as the clock ticked past 8, the truth pressed against my chest like a weight I couldn't shift. I poured another glass of champagne, the bubbles hissing like whispered accusations. The apartment smelled of rosemary and garlic from the dinner I'd spent hours preparing, her favorite, braised lamb with roasted vegetables, now congealing on the stove. My phone buzzed, and for a fleeting moment, I hoped it was her calling to say she'd made a mistake, that she was on her way home. Instead, it was a notification from her social media. A photo uploaded minutes ago. Sarah, radiant in a black dress I didn't recognize, laughing beside Mark at a candlelit restaurant. His hand rested lightly on her shoulder, his smile too familiar, too intimate. My stomach churned, a mix of nausea and rage. I wanted to call her, to scream, to demand answers, but my fingers froze above the screen. What would I say? Why are you there instead of here? The question felt pathetic, a plea I wasn't ready to make. Instead, I scrolled through her posts, each one a breadcrumb leading to a truth I'd been too afraid to face. A late-night coffee run with Mark 2 weeks ago. A team-building retreat last month, where she'd returned with a glow I mistook for exhaustion. The signs had been there, flickering like fireflies in the dark, but I'd swatted them away, convinced love could blind me to doubt. I stood, the room tilting slightly, and walked to the window. The city lights sprawled below, indifferent to the storm brewing inside me. I remembered the night we moved into this apartment. How Sarah had danced barefoot across the empty floor, her laughter echoing off the bare walls. We'd promised each other forever, hadn't we? But forever felt like a lie now. A contract written in sand, washed away by the tide of her choices. The doorbell rang, sharp and jarring. My heart lurched. Could it be her? I crossed the room, hope and dread tangling in my chest, and opened the door. It was Emily, Sarah's best friend, her face pale, eyes wide with something like pity. James, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't know if I should come. What is it? My throat tightened, the words scraping out. She hesitated, clutching her purse like a lifeline. I saw them. At La Belle. Sarah and Mark. It wasn't just dinner. Her voice cracked, and she looked away, as if the truth burned her too. I'm so sorry. The air left the room. I leaned against the doorframe, my knees threatening to buckle. What did you see? I asked, though I didn't want the answer. Emily's lips trembled. They were close. Too close. His hand was on her thigh, and she didn't push it away. They were laughing like... She trailed off, but the image was already seared into my mind, vivid and cruel. I nodded, numb, and closed the door behind her. Emily's words were a match struck in a room full of gasoline. I paced the apartment, my thoughts a chaotic swirl of denial and fury. Part of me wanted to believe it was a mistake, that Sarah was just caught up in the moment, that she still loved me. But the other part, the part that had noticed her pulling away, her excuses piling up like unpaid bills, knew better. I grabbed my coat and keys, my movements mechanical. I couldn't stay here, surrounded by the ghosts of our promises. The city streets were slick with rain, the neon lights blurring into streaks of color as I walked, no destination in mind. My phone buzzed again, another text from Sarah. Dinner's running late. Don't wait up. The casual dismissal stung more than the betrayal itself. I typed a response, my fingers shaking. I won't. Then I deleted it. Words wouldn't fix this. Words wouldn't undo the image of her with him. I found myself outside La Belle, the restaurant glowing through the rain-streaked windows. I didn't go in. I stood across the street, hidden in the shadow of an awning, and watched. There they were, at a corner table, their heads bent close, her hand brushing his as she laughed. The sight was a punch to the gut, stealing my breath. I wanted to storm in, to shatter their perfect little moment like I'd shattered the champagne flute, but something held me back. Pride maybe. Or fear. Fear that confronting her would make it real, that I'd lose the last shred of hope I was still clutching. Instead, I turned away, the rain soaking through my coat, and made a decision. I wouldn't confront her tonight. I wouldn't scream or beg or cry. I'd leave her with something worse, silence. I walked back to the apartment, packed a single bag, and left a note on the table, simple and final. You chose him. I'm choosing me. I didn't sign it. She'd know. As I stepped into the elevator, the weight of 5 years pressed against my chest, but there was a strange relief in it too. I wasn't running away. I was walking towards something new, something untainted by her lies. The doors closed, and I imagined her coming home to the empty apartment, the candles burned to stubs, the lamb cold on the stove, my note a quiet explosion in her perfect world. She'd feel it. The absence, the silence, the truth of what she'd thrown away. And that was enough. I stepped into the rain-soaked night, the city alive with possibilities, and disappeared into it.